Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Banwola Kiton, the CEO of Kiton Cloutier. So I'm here this evening to talk about the future and fashion. Okay, so good evening everyone. Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Banwola Kiton. So sorry, trying to connect. I'm really sorry. Network is really bad. So like I
Yeah,
said
we can
earlier,
hear
my
you,
name is
Ma.
Bola Kiton Banwo, the CEO of Kiton Cloutier. So I'll be talking about the future and fashion. So first of all, we are going to talk about the future. What is future? It's a later time going or likely to happen or exist. So when you talk about future things, it's something you know will exist, but it's something that you know that when you do now, you look at okay, what is the future telling us? Okay, I'm buying a land now. I want to use it in a later time, not now, maybe in future. So if you are using it in future, when we talk about future, what is fashion telling us about future? good evening. The network is really bad, so I'm really trying to work on it. I'm really sorry about that. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about the future and fashion. So, first of all, we'll talk about the future. What does the future have for us? What's the meaning of future? Future is a later time, going or likely to happen or exist. So something that will exist in a later time. That is what future is all about. So when we talk about fashion also, it's the popular or the latest style of clothing, hair, decoration, or behavior. That's what we call fashion. Fashion is more collective, while style is something that belongs to individuals. So there is a difference between fashion and style. So style belongs to individuals. So we all have our own style. My own style is simple and classic, while some styles are elegant, some styles are extraordinary. So what's your own style? So then when you talk about fashion, and fashion in today's technology is going as faster pace than ever, because this rate at which um, fashion is going now is really fast, because fashion is not necessarily about label. It's not about brand. It's about something else that comes within you. So that's what is called fashion. Fashion is something that exists everywhere. You can see fashion in the sky, fashion in dressing, fashion in the street. Fashion is has to do with ideas, the way we live, the way we live, and again what is happening. That is what fashion is all about. Fashion has always been the forefront of innovation, from innovation of the sewing machine to the rise of e-commerce. When you talk about fashion, to me, in my own field, which is the tailoring, we started from sewing. You know, when you talk about we sew from sewing, you do some things to your style, which makes it unique. That is fashion. The fashion sector is also one of the largest industry in the world, estimated to be worth more than thousands in the decade. So fashion technology is going as faster pace ever. Like I said, it's really going very very fast. Okay, now let me tell you about myself. I started this fashion work when I was 16, and I started with, manual machine. I started with manual machine, which is just one, and which my mom bought me the head, and the friend gave me the leg. Poko poko, we call it poko poko machine then. So imagine then, that was in 2008 when I started this fashion work. So I started it gradually, but now few people use the manual. A lot of people use industrial, because that is what the future is. Then and now. And we don't know what the next future will be. We don't know if we won't be using industrial machinery. Maybe technology would have taken us higher than now. So when I started then, it it has not really been easy growing up and trying to go to school at the same time you're trying to work hard, fulfilling your dream. So doing all that, it has not really been easy, but with God, everything is possible. Everything was possible, and now still moving on. So with that, 16 years old, my mom was like, okay, you have to do this for you to go to school and all that. So I started doing the work. While doing it, still 17, I'm still there. It's not like I have someone I'm feeding. Nobody. I was just using the work. But the thing is, my elder ones, they were all in school. So at times they may just call me, hey, Kito, money. I need to buy Tesla. I was just like, well, there's nothing really I was using the money for. But it's not like the money was much then, but I was really working hard. All those my work is at times I worked for 2 years and there was no income. There was no profit. I mean, sorry, there was no profit for 2 years working and no profit. So it was really, really draining and all that. So after a while, I got one apprentice. I got another machine, and as time goes on, I got another one. I left where I was because I started from a container shop, which is just like a very small container shop. But now, to the glory of God, um, I have more than 4 workers. I have like almost 6 industrials, 10 manuals, and a lot of apprentices. It's not because of now, but if not, I have um, insight about if not, I feel like okay, the future will be better. Let me say it like that. If I just relax and say the future doesn't have anything, then I will be where I am. I'll just be stagnant. But fashion is fashion changes. We moves with the trend. You know when you talk about something is in vogue, that's fashion. Whatever that is in vogue, you go after it. That's when you are into the fashion. Okay, like a style can just come out today. That's fashion. Is in vogue now. So we go after it. Fashion brand of all sizes and specialties are using technology to understand and anticipate market demand and respond swiftly with trendy designs and customizable styles. Like I said, there is no way that there won't be style in your fashion. There is always a style in your fashion because real style is never right or wrong. It's a matter of being yourself on purpose. That's real style. That's real style. So today we are also going to be launching a book, which is business workbook for startups. So if you are starting your business for the first time, you just want to start your business, you are looking at how will I start, what are the rules, regulation of this business, the challenges you want to face because you are going to face a lot of challenges, especially in Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is not an easy country, but we all have to move on with the work. So you need to. We are launching a book today also, which is a business workbook for startups by Deji Paul or Badake. It can be downloaded. It can be downloaded. You can buy a soft copy or hard copy of it, and it's being sold for half of the price, which is 2,500 for the book. So and because we are launching it, that's why it's 2,500. On the norms is 5,000 naira. So we are launching it for 2,500. So now, if you look at fashion now, at what technology has brought into fashion, technology. If you go to other places, you will see robots. Robots they sew and cut fabric. That's technology for you. They cut fabric. They predict. A machine even predicts style. You can just draw your style in a machine, and it will out. We have some stoning machine that you don't even need to set it. You don't need to set it. You just put your clothes, and it will put your tones and everything on same place. Every place that you want to place the stones, the colors that you want to put on the stones, everything is there. Now we drive into the trend in shipping, how our clothes and accessories are designed, manufactured, distributed, and marketed. How do you think your work will be known to the world? Will be trend. Everybody will know it. And how do you put your fabric together? What kind of colors do you use on your fabric? What kind of colors do you mix to get a style? What kind of design do you bring out to the world? What kind of designer are you? So all those things you need to ask yourself. how do you want to become. With this book will also make you to know a lot. Will make you to give you a step that you will take to know all this. So also you have to be intelligent.
Thank you. Our speaker is experiencing a little bit of network. Okay, she'll be back very, very soon. Okay, she'll be back very. Don't give the word she'll be saying today. She'll be back very, very soon. Very, very soon. And what I want you to listen to is majorly her story. So most times don't understand this. We're trying to understand how somebody gets to that greatness, that feat, which we always dream about. That place where we that story. We don't want to know what they did, how they got there, the little steps they made before they could hit that's exactly what I want you to learn today. Our other speakers are ready and they are heavily ready for us. Okay, just hold on a little. That woman is a great woman. I don't how I met was funny. Okay, actually it was business that brought us together. Okay, and I saw how powerful, how resilient she was, how creative her branding was. I haven't really seen a fashion that, that takes her and their branding as personal as she takes her brand for her business. So those are good job. Okay, it's very attentive. I will give the guests to know exactly what happened. Okay, we have more very, very good. I want to start with I just start with get fit. So till we are getting I believe Mr. Well, you're ready for today. Miss West.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Deji? Hello.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Okay. I can proceed, right? Oh shit. Hello, is it better now?
Okay, Mr. Welch, you can go on. You can go on now.
Okay. I don't know.
Yes,
Can you help me share my slides from your end? I'm not sure I can share it from here. Hello? Just give me a moment, please. I'm coming. I want to share the slides with you now.
Okay. It's okay. Okay. Bit of an introduction. For some of our major guests that are coming, okay. One major thing I would say is a lot of you here. I know that the network will be giving you to the page. I know because this is such a bit online, but this is what is going to be. You will be attentive. You are going to get value for your time. Seriously, I believe you're here. You want you to go back. Okay, by the end of today's meeting, we're having If you're reading a new book, which is uh, for startups, and not all the reason want to make this for things to do well in their business, but they had a lot of stumbling block, a lot of stumbling block about them. Just get behind some of those blocks. What of creative people who have and they are for the let's hear from the next words to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Deji. Let me try and share my screen from here then. I just hope it works well. Oh, I'm not sure I can do that from here. Okay, so I'll just proceed. I prepared some slides. Hello, can everyone hear me? Hello, Deji, can everyone hear me?
Now
Okay, so I can barely hear you. I don't know if my voice is clear enough. Okay, maybe I should just proceed. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Wealth Okete. I'm Hello, Deji, are you there?
So that's exactly, you'll be learning a lot here today. Mr. Welt. Okay, you've been added back, Mr. Welt.
Okay, yeah, thank
Sorry,
you
I
very
believe that's
much.
it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Deji, and thank you very much, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I believe you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm sorry I can't share my slides. I actually prepared some slides, but I can't work on my laptop now because of light issues. So I will just get right into this session. So I'll be speaking about the future of science, as you saw on the flyer, the future of science. Before I delve into the future of science, I'll just give a little bit of introduction about who I am. My name is Welt Okete. I am a biochemist. I studied biochemistry at the University of Benin. I graduated in 2018, and currently I'm into science communication. So I consider myself a science creative and communicator. So I love to talk about science, online, offline, and whatever opportunity I get. And I'm grateful for this opportunity that Deji has given me to come and just talk to everyone here about science and the future. And I think I should place a disclaimer right here that I'm not a prophet. So you should not be expecting prophecies tonight. So maybe I will tell you this is what's going to happen 10 years, 20, 50, 100 years, 1,000 years from now in the nearest future. But I hope we'll have um, a great time here and would enjoy whatever conversation I'll be having with everyone. So I continuing from where I stopped about myself, I also co-manage a community science cafe, which I co-founded with some of my colleagues, and we are in our second year, and it has been an amazing journey. So we'll be talking about the future of science, and perhaps I could ask you to maybe imagine what you think would be possible. Maybe think of any scientific invention that is in vogue now. Maybe drugs, or maybe cars, or maybe the computers, or whatever option or whatever example can come to mind. Think about it and think about where we were, say, 10, 50 years ago, and think about where we could be 10, 20, 50 years from now. Just imagine the possibilities that science could offer us. And like I said, let's make a kind of comparison. Look at where the world was 10, 20, 50, 100 years ago. And then from that a retrospective view, consider where you think the world would be in, say, 100 years from now. So you'd see the world is making progress, and majority of the progress the world is making is tied to science. So I come across a quote while I was trying to just read up a few things in preparation for this session, and the idea of the quote, I'll just try and paraphrase. I can't give the exact words, but the quote was trying to say that a country that science is like, I think, fuel to a nation, and that if a country, or either fuel or a vehicle to a nation, that if a country neglects science, that they cannot make progress, they cannot move forward. And I'd like to chip in that if an individual neglects science, that individual cannot make progress, because our very existence is hinged on science. Our very existence is hinged on science. So I'm not trying to belittle any other aspect, but I don't care every other thing you've been learning. Everything is important, but I want to tell you that science is the most important aspect of life you should consider. So if you're ignoring science, just forget about it. Forget about life, because life itself, there's no way we can explain life. Even from your birth to your existence, you're eating, you take drugs, they function, you're driving a car, or you imagine things. Everything can be explained through science. I don't think there's anything in this world that science does not have an explanation for. Perhaps we don't have a clear explanation yet, but give us time. We'll come up with explanations for it. So the first question I'll be asking you is, do you believe? Do you believe? Do you have faith? What do you have faith in? What do you believe in? What kind of ideas can you think about for yourself? Do you believe? And do you believe in science? Because from what Deji shared with me, I'm supposed to kind of talk about how to profit in science, how to an extent I feel I've profited, or I hope to profit from science, and how everyone can profit from science. So I'm still in very, very, very early stages of my career as a scientist. I hope to become a very great, amazing popular scientist in the nearest future. Like I said, watch out for my name. My name is Welt Okete. So I hope to be really, really this very amazing scientist who is going to do so much amazing things in science. But do you believe in science? Because I don't think it's not even what I think, but the reality is you cannot profit from something you do not believe in. If you don't think science is important, if you don't think there's nothing really serious about science, let me just focus on other things, then you cannot, we should not be talking about profiting from science. So I am able to talk about profiting from science. I'm able to talk boldly about science, shout about science, perhaps hold a crusade about science, because I believe so much in science and I believe in the potential of science. So if we want to talk about you profiting from science, you benefiting from science, or helping other people to benefit from science, you have to ask yourself that question. Do you believe in science? Do you believe science has possibilities? Imagine a scientist working day and night in the lab trying to find the solution to cancer or HIV, AIDS, or some of all these terrible diseases that diseases plaguing the world today. Those scientists, they believe that this thing I'm doing, these chemicals mixing in the lab, this machine I'm trying to operate, they believe that these kind of things they are doing can yield results, and that's why they are doing it. That's why they are spending so much time. I cannot start talking about the kind of energy scientists invest in some of the innovations that we just enjoy, maybe misuse today. People's time, blood, sweat, energy went into it. So if you want to profit from science, I'm still asking that question. Do you believe in science? Are you ready to make sacrifices for science? I believe some of the other speakers might have talked about how you need to be passionate to be able to partake in the future of whatever aspect of life we've considered. The speaker that just spoke about fashion mentioned several things that can be of benefit to you. And I believe yesterday you guys learned so much about different areas of life. So do you believe? So that idea of faith is something that is very important to profit from science. Okay, so we'll be proceeding. So, what is science? What do you think is science? I will not be giving you a basic, a broad or complicated definition of science. So, science is just about understanding life and the environment, understanding what is around us, understanding human beings, animals, the environment, understanding space, understanding the universe. So, that's what science is about. Just asking questions. Why is this happening? Can't it happen this way? Can we stop it? Can we make it better? Can we change it? Is this thing beneficial to us? Is it harming us? So that's basically what science is trying to do. So science is just the whole goal of science is to make the world a better place. Although there are still scientific interventions that can destroy the world, but let's try and be optimistic that science is focused on making the world better, focused on improving the current state of the world. And like I mentioned earlier on, that if you want to look at the progress the world has made, there's no significant progress that has been made by the world today that does not find a basis in science, that science did not help to any progress we've made, that science did not play a crucial role in. So science has always been there, even though some things may not be so obvious to us that science is important here, but science has always been playing that role. So what's the past and what's the present and what's the future of science? So these are questions we should also be asking ourselves. What do you think is the past of science? I remember asking you to imagine what science will be like in the next 10, 20, 50, 100 years, perhaps 1,000 years, your great grandchildren. What do you think they would experience in life with the possibilities, the kind of things we're talking about in science today? What do you think your forefathers, grandparents, great grandparents, how do you think they cope with life? And consider where we are today and think about where we'll be in the future. So because of my background, I I have this interest in the aspect of science because science is really broad. Aspect of science that deals with maybe diseases and medications, drugs, therapies. So I'm just going to permit me that I may not be able to touch on every aspect of science, but I'm just going to use some of these basics to explain whatever I'll be explaining to you, whatever I'll be sharing with you. So whatever I'll be sharing on how to profit from science and how to partake in the future that science has to offer will be basics. I love to deal with basics. I love basics because I feel like if you understand the basics, then there's nothing you cannot do. There's nothing there's no impossibility with you. So I like to think of basics as helping a child learn ABCD. So any English word you want to spell come from those 26 alphabets, no matter how long it is. So if you get those basics right, you'll be able to link up whatever you want to link up, create your own ideas, think, become innovative, and create things that can profit you, profit your generation, and profit the world at large, just like trying to do. So I'm also in that journey, like I mentioned. Okay, so I would like to say, like in the past of science, perhaps the focus was, let's just try and see what's happening in the environment. Let's see what's happening in the environment. There was this maybe external focus. External focus. People did not know so much about what was happening in human beings. There were so many wrong speculations because the scientists then, I said I was going to use a kind of health background to explain. Scientists there could not really understand what was going on inside humans. So majority of the explanation they could give were from things they were seeing around them. So something would be happening to a human being, and then they would look at something in the environment that was easy for them to associate that challenge or that sickness with, and then that was what they used to explain. So in the past time, like there was this idea of maybe someone was sick, certain sicknesses, they would have to drain your blood from your body. There were sicknesses that were related to black bile. There was, I think there were these four colors. You must, there's black, there is red, there is, I think there's yellow or white. So there were some of these things that scientists were just trying to understand because they did not have access to human body. They did not know what was going on inside humans. So there was this external understanding to what science was about. So this external view of life. So the scientists could only understand what was happening in the environment, and there was no in-depth understanding. And so we progressed from there, and then we were able to study what was going on inside living things, what was going on in animals or plants or humans. So scientists had this better understanding that, oh, it's possible for somebody to take drug, and that drug that you are taking, it's going to act on something inside your body and make you better, make you heal you or cure a disease from your body, that you don't have to maybe drain somebody's blood and replace the blood. They used to do that actually in centuries ago. They would drain your blood from your body, and as you would, I would have guessed, so many persons would not survive it. So scientists now have that understanding, and I think that's a stage we are now, trying to still understand what is happening within living things, trying to understand basics. So I'm sorry I'm using living things to explain. That's the background I have. So trying to understand what is happening within humans or animals or plants. So, and without understanding, scientists are able to come up with new ideas. Okay, can we try this drug, or can we try this thing? What about we stop giving people food, or what if we give people this kind of food? No, we are well, maybe some diseases that people would say, okay, this is the cause for the diseases, and then they will say, okay, maybe stop eating this kind of food, or this kind of food you should eat, or this is the drug you should take. So scientists are getting better understanding of what is happening inside, say, living things, for example. So inside living things, scientists are getting that in-depth understanding of what's happening. But what does the future hold, even from now? So now we are focused on the connection between even what we can see and the environment. So say living things, plants, animals, human beings, that's our focus, and the environment. So there's now this merge of, we are not just on trying to understand what is outside, we're not just trying to understand what is inside, we are trying to merge both of them and see what they can offer. Okay, so some of us have heard about metaverse, like a kind of virtual world where so many things can happen. So there are so many things, so many possibilities that science has to offer in the nearest future. I was watching a video this evening, and the whole idea of the video was that our brain is unlimited. Our brain can do so much, and our brains are only limited by the accessories they are working with. So that was what the video used, like the tools our brain have at its disposal. That is what limits our brain. So our brain can see through our eyes, of course, through our ears, we can hear, our skin can feel. We know it's not just this skin that is making this work. Everything is happening in the brain. Everything is happening in the brain. So these people are saying that if we give our human beings more tools, if we give ourselves more accessories, so maybe they are able to create a new organ, a new kind of organ that can sense emotions or sense feelings or sense certain things, that human beings could be unlimited. So I found that from that video that human beings and dogs, we don't see things the same way. Okay, you are seeing something now, black, white, yellow, blue, and the kind of colors we can see. Dogs do not see colors, the kind of colors we see. Okay, they see colors in different ways. So you could be looking at a tree, that this tree is green, but a goat looking at that tree, the goat is not seeing green. So imagine we had all of these abilities that there was no end. So we had so many accessories, we had so many things that we could work with, and we'll start understanding the environment in completely new ways if we had more tools. So So this is like a future for science. So remember, I started that the past was more like the external, the environment, what was happening around us, and then we progressed from that to understanding the internal, and then we are looking at a merge between the external and the internal now. So taking it to another aspect, apart from you trying to help humans connect to the environment in new ways and new levels, there's also this aspect of the way we are understanding diseases now. Like I said, I'm sorry if I'm using so many health, because that's the background I have. The way we're understanding diseases now. So scientists are even are beginning to understand that most diseases, there's this connection between the environment and yourself, that it's not just what you are doing that is affecting you. Even your environment can affect whether you're able to come down with a disease or how you're able to respond when you come down with a disease. And then they're trying to come up with therapies that are specific for human beings. So imagine how that would be like, that if you go to the hospital, they're not just, doctor will not just prescribe paracetamol for you and say, okay, take 2 tablets, you're an adult. The doctor can say, okay, because of your body, because of certain things in your body, because of your gene, because of your background, where you came from and all of that, and what you have, the understanding you have about you, they would say, no, don't take 2 tablets, take 1 tablet, or take 1.5, or take 1.5 and a quarter. So there's that, we are stepping into that realm of precision where they are giving you specific things that would work for you. So the whole idea of side effects, scientists, we are coming to that space where we can kind of brush off every side effect that we could get from drugs or get from interacting with the world. So many things are happening. Some of us know about the whole idea of green revolution, that okay, there are certain gases that can make the earth warmer and cause so many natural disasters, and then we have to limit our usage of such gases, come up with electric cars, and limit plastic waste, and so many things. So these are areas that science is giving attention to. And let's imagine what it will be like for the future when, like I mentioned, the future is about this merge of what is happening outside us and what is happening within us. Okay, so I'm just going to share 3 tips for you on how you can profit from science and profit in science with all these interesting things happening, and so many interesting things that are going to happen in the future. Amazing, mind-blowing, remarkable things. How can you profit from them? How can you profit from them? I'll go back to the first thing I said: believe. Believe, faith. You have to believe in science to profit from science. I mentioned that before. So if you hear that, oh, they're talking about metaverse, they're talking about this virtual world, they're talking about so many things, do you believe it's possible? Do you believe these things can actually happen? Do you believe that, okay, time would come that you go to the hospital and then they'll just give you a therapy that is specific for you? Okay, you could even be a twin, but then the doctor could be asking you to take something totally different from your twin because of the understanding they have about humans' relation to their environment. So do you believe all of these things are possible? Do you believe all of these things are possible? They're talking about going to Mars. Do you believe it's possible? Do you believe all of these things are possible? So I like to think that there's no limitation. There's nothing that there's no limitation to what we can do as humans, that humans can do anything. So the only limitation perhaps would be time and the resources at our disposal. But if you allow humans, they can try anything. They can try anything. They can try anything. So I'm just going to also put a kind of disclaimer here. Believing in science, because there are people who think, okay, maybe science is against God, or maybe believing in science, you are going against what the Bible says, or all of that. So if you even check the Bible, or maybe check your Quran, or check, you see there are so many things that are possible. God has given humans so much capacities. So when I'm talking about believing in science, I'm not saying you should maybe drop your other beliefs or maybe your religious beliefs, but the point I'm trying to make is don't embrace limiting thoughts. Okay, if someone is telling you, oh, this thing could be possible with science, your first thought should not be, it cannot happen. It cannot happen, because there are so many examples of people that have said things we have said it cannot happen to in the past decades or past centuries that are now possibilities today. So your response should be, wow, when will that happen? When will it be possible, or how can it happen? So believing science is the first step to profiting from it. And then the second thing I will talk about is communicate. I mentioned at the beginning that I'm interested in communicating science and letting people know about science. So when you believe something, okay, let's say you believe something, and then maybe you come up with this idea, or someone comes up with this idea and shares it with you, and you feel like, oh, this thing is great, let's try and make something out of it. You have to communicate it. You have to be able to tell people about it, tell people clearly that, oh, this is something I made. Okay, this thing can convert plastic to, can make something better out of plastic. There are people who use pure water sachet today to make footwears, to make bags, to do so many nice things. They even recycle plastic to do so many amazing things. So you should know that there's no limitation. There's no limitation. There's nothing that is not possible, in quotes. Okay, so there's almost like there's no impossibility. If you believe there's no impossibility, there's no impossibility. If you think you still have limitations, then you have limitations. So when you believe these things are possible, you have to be ready, prepared to communicate it. You have to communicate. You only communicate something clearly. Okay, let's even move away from the place of even understanding it. For you to communicate something clearly and passionately, you have to believe it. That's why we first started with believing. So you have to believe, okay, to be able to function in the future of science, to profit from the future of science. You have to be ready and willing to communicate that belief you have. Okay, if, for example, you're a scientist here and then you discovered something, you have to be willing to say, okay, this drug I discovered, I know it can cure cancer, or this method I'm trying, I know if this method comes out, it will cure cancer, it will cure 1 million people of cancer, even though you are not yet sure. That's something that scientists do, because sometimes if you check some of all these scientific papers, they will tell you, okay, this thing has the potential. It has been like that for 10 years, but we've not realized the potential yet. But then, because they know that, okay, if we give this thing time, this is what it can do. So scientists have that way of communicating. You have to be able to communicate whatever discovery you're making. And then the third thing I'll be talking about, to profit from science or profit in science, is translate. So beyond just talking, so the communicate and the translate are really, really intertwined. So you can be communicating and translating at the same time. So the whole idea of translating is converting something to practicable solutions, to practical solution. So beyond just believing something is possible, you talk about it and then you go ahead and make it reality, bring it to reality. Like I say, you don't have to be a scientist to function in all of these steps. Okay, someone comes up with a discovery, scientific discovery, for example, you can launch in with, you can hold on to that idea and launch into the idea, and then see how you can bring it to reality and help people benefit from it. And when people are benefiting from it, you're also benefiting. So I may not be able to give so many examples of the financial benefits in science. Of course, there are lots of financial benefits, and then there's also the aspect of people say, okay, maybe science should just exist to just help people. But then, of course, there are financial benefits. There are people who have made discoveries today that are benefiting from it immensely. So whether you're talking about tech, or whether you're talking about science itself, or of course, technology is the application of science, but whatever aspect you want to look at or consider, there's profit. You can actually profit from believing, from communicating and translating translating science, making science available to people, kind of creating solutions. Okay, so beyond the ideas that you believe, beyond the ideas you're communicating, converting those ideas into practical solutions that can affect people's life and make their lives better. So that's kind of a summary of what I have to share tonight about profiting in science or profiting from science. And I hope I'm able to convince you and not to confuse you that science really has lots of potential, and you can launch into that potential. You can jump into those potentials and make the best out of it. So what's the next you should do? I'll just advise that you stand out from people. Don't think like the average people. No, something comes up, something is happening, and then people are saying, oh, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible. Your question, your response should not just be, it's not possible. Go and find out, can this thing really happen? Go and find out. And your question should be why or how, not no. Okay, so that statement, can really be limiting. It can be limiting, limits what you're able to do. So your first response should be, oh wow, why or how. Those are the kind of questions you should ask, or when, not no. So thank you very much for listening. Hello, Deji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much, sir, for that deep exposition. Is it expose, I should say? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm really glad you called me. There's no problem, sir.
Sir?
I said I'm really glad to be here. I'm glad that you invited me to come talk.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. I know, see, before I would call you up to come join us here, I know what you can do. I know what you've done. I've been following your works for years, even while we were in school. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We grateful,
Thank you very
we
much.
grateful, we grateful. So because of our time, I don't want to. This event is not about me. It's not about me talking. That's why you're not even seeing my face there. It's about the great people we have in the house. Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Wells. The next person that will be up now, please, if you have any question, just go down to the comment section as you've listened. Drop your questions there. Okay. Speakers will be around to always answer all those questions. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Wells. Onto our own first lady. Okay, onto our own first lady. I call her first lady because I've been working with this lady for a very long time. I've been working with her for a very long time, and she has always she always wow my expectation. That's the truth. She always wow my expectation. Okay, she has one of the biggest. Okay. I wouldn't say anything. I would want her to talk. I want her to speak for herself. Okay, so let her come in and kill us up with what she have cooked today. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Khadijat Brahima. You can come up on stage. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you so much, DG. So, hello everyone, my name is Khadijat. I hope you can actually hear me properly, and I hope the sound is okay, and I hope you can see me and hear me properly. Okay. All right. So my name is Khadijat Baima, and I am a content creator. I would say I live and breathe creating content. I am literally creating content every single time, every single moment. Okay, so when did you first reach out to me about coming on here and talking about the creator economy, I was really excited because being a content creator literally changed my life for good. So yes, I am really excited to be here. And today we are going to be talking about the future and the creator economy as it is. I will be talking about what it is to be a content creator. There's some of the challenges you might face or challenges I have faced, how you can actually harness the content creating economy, or what we call the creators economy. Even as a business owner, you can still harness the potentials that we have in the creators economy. Now, before I go into everything I want, I would really, really appreciate if you guys would do something for me. And it is very simple. All you have to do is like this video, comment, give me that engagement, and also share. Subscribe to this channel, please. It really puts a lot of effort to organize this for you to get so much value. So please do subscribe to this channel, and yes, let's just get right into it. Now, who is a creator? What is the creator's economy? What is the future of the creator economy, and how can you harness it? First off, I want to tell you that content creating is a very, very important job. It's a very, very important job that most of us do not really know. And most of us are actually content creators. We do not actually know that we can make money from it, or how we can make money from it, especially as Nigerians. We have this limits to what we can do, but we are going to discuss all of that today. So now, what is content creator? No, who is a content creator first up? Now, a content creator is someone who is responsible for the ideation and creation of content that connects brands or entities to an audience. Now, a content creator doesn't just connect brands to audiences, but a content creator can also be someone who connects messages, who connects informations. Okay, so a content creator can also be someone who connects messages, connects information. All right, so now I'm just going to break this down for you to understand basically what I'm talking about. Now, a content creator let's say, what is content? Now, a content in itself is a message or it's an information that we are trying to pass out. One thing I like about content creators is they always have passion for something. You cannot create content for what you do not have passion for. They have passion for something, they have a voice, they have a message, they actually want to pass a message for everyone. Most of the content that they create are usually educational, inspirational, motivational content that would make your life be better as it is. Okay, so first off, content can be in different forms. We can have content in videos, we can have content as graphics, we can have content as audio, we can have content as write-ups and all of that. And one thing about me is when I say I live and breathe in the creators economy, I am the kind of content creator that literally creates content in all of this formats. I create content in video formats, I create content in pictures, in write-ups. I am also a blog writer and all of that. So like I said, content can be anything. Content is literally anything we consume on not just social media. I'm not going to limit it to social media, but mostly on social media. It could be as short as a caption. It could be as short as a picture, just a picture that you post on your social media. That in itself can be content. And one thing that you should know is there are over 50 million independent content creators, and only 2 million are what we know as professional content creators or full-time content creators. Majority of us are just people that like creating content for the fun of it and for the sake of it, because we do not know how lucrative the content creating industry is. Now, the content creating industry is so lucrative that it is worth over $100 billion. Yes. And it is so lucrative that platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that, I'm sorry about that. All right. So it is so lucrative that platforms like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they're offering revenue to creators for them to create content that is specific to just their platform because they know how much they're getting from it. Now, the issue we are facing in the content creating industry is the fact that presently, majority of those funds that come into the content creation space, it is not shared by the creators themselves, but more shared by the platforms. So we are going to talk about that as we proceed. But for now, let's just move on now. How can you monetize your content as a content creator? You might be wondering, I am not a content creator. Well, let me bust your bubble. You actually are a content creator. For example, you have a TikTok account. You create funny videos, just trends, jump on trends and all of that. You are a content creator. You have a book that you just wrote somewhere. You are a content creator. So how can you actually analyze it? First off, let me talk about myself. How did I start making money from the content creating space? So as at 2018, 2019, I was just a lost soul. I would say that I was broke and depressed. Yes. So and then I stumbled upon content creating. Let's just say I've always loved creating things. I've always been the creative person. I've always loved. Let's just say I've always been a content creator, but I like making videos. I like writing. I've always been a writer. Even right from my secondary school days, I used to write like short novels and sell them to my my classmates. As at then, I write short novels for the drama club and all of that. So I've always been a content creator. And as at 2019, I started creating more and more content. I started pushing out more and more content. And I did not actually start monetizing this space or the creators economy until 2020. That was actually a year for creators. 2020 was the year where we saw a larger surge in content creators because everyone was at home. There was COVID strike, and we are all just creating content and pushing it out there, doing TikTok videos, doing all of that. Now, like I said, I create content for brands, and I also create content for myself as a content creator. So now, for brands, I help them make designs. I also work as a content strategist I can literally tell your brand this is the kind of content you should be posting for you to make sales or for you to get more leads. And yeah, so I do that for brands also and all of that. So that was how I actually started making money from the content creating space. I started working with brands, I started creating video adverts for brands, and I started making designs. And as it proceeded, I started my own blog. It was a travel blog. So I started my own blog and I started posting content about regarding travel. And even though right now I am not so consistent with it, I still try to post some content regarding travel. I also have a YouTube channel where I post content regarding lifestyle. First time, let me just say I am a multi-potentialite, so I do not really succumb to the old term of niching down. Yes, so majority of those my platforms, I do not have specific content that I would post. But there are some people that do niche down. There are some content creators that are very, very, very niche. You see content creators that only create content regarding to a specific topic and all of that, but I do not do that. So that was how I started making from the content creating industry. Now, how can you monetize the content creator space? How can you monetize in the creators economy? How can you as a person actually harness all the potentials that we have for in the creators economy? Now, first off, yes, we all know there's TikTok, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. You can start a YouTube channel, YouTube pays, there's TikTok. Now, as Nigerians, you might feel like, okay, TikTok doesn't really work for me, TikTok doesn't really pay. Yes, TikTok actually has a creators fund that has $200 million for creators that they share. We do not really know the metrics they use. And really sharing is what most people think is the number of views you have. Now, TikTok has that, yes. So, but it is not visible in Nigeria. Views on Facebook and Instagram right now, they actually pay, but it is not, that's not been rolled out yet for Nigeria creators. Now, like I said, content creating is so lucrative for to the extent that these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they are actually paying creators for them to create content specific to their platform because they want people to still remain in their platform. Right now, as a TikToker, you can get up to 1,000 followers and actually start getting video gifts. That is actually the best way for you to make money on TikTok as a Nigerian. And then, of course, we know YouTube Pay. I think YouTube pays the highest. Most of all these platforms, they pay content creators based on ad revenue. And I think YouTube pay about 55% of it, but all that ones do not really pay as much as that. Okay, so apart from that, how can you actually monetize your content creating skill? So if you can sell digital products, you can create courses, you can sell your book on Amazon Publishing. Yes, if you think you have so much knowledge on a particular topic, then create a book and you can sell it on Amazon. You can actually start selling merch. You can create memberships, paid memberships on. You can start. Yeah, WordPress also pays. Blogging. You can start writing for brands. You can start creating content for brands. It doesn't even have to be for yourself. You can become a content creator that works with other brands. You can start creating videos. There are people who are actually reels creators. All they do is create reels for a particular brand. They do not own the brand, but because the person cannot really show up on videos, they help them do that. Now we also have platforms like Mainstack. Mainstack actually allows you to receive tips and receive flowers, coffees. People can actually buy you coffee on Mainstack. So if you're a Nigerian creator, make sure you get on Mainstack. Start using Mainstack. Okay, so it allows people to actually send you tips. It allows people to get into your paid membership. It allows people to send you flowers, digital flowers. Now all of this is what certain number of money that only you have the right for you to decide which amount you want to receive. So those are some of the way you can actually start earning from the creating space. And even if you're a business owner, you can decide to create a course on a particular thing that is related to your business and actually sell it. You can sell it on platform like you can host them on platform like Seller. Seller is African America's largest course space. So yes, you can sell it on Seller. There are other places like Kobo Course where you can sell your courses. So what are you waiting for? If you're a business owner, if you think you really want to become a creator, then get into it. You can also start a podcast. It is really simple to start a podcast right now. You can start a podcast on Anchor. You can start a blog on WordPress and all of that. Now let's talk about where exactly is the creator economy heading towards? Where are we heading towards as creator? Where exactly is creators economy heading towards? Now, like I said, most of the amount of money that come into the creator space currently are not even shared by the creators themselves because they do not have access to those finances. Right now, everything in the creators economy is moving towards creators actually owning their finances, actually owning their audience. When you are creating content on social media, you are actually just building on someone else's land, really, because anything can happen at any time. Anything can happen at any time. So currently, creators are moving to a future where they can actually own their audiences. You see creators building their own email list. You see creators moving to their website. So if you are a creator, please try as much as possible to invest in having a good website. Try as much as possible to start creating your own email list because that is where we are heading to as creators. So the future of the creators economy is all about the ability of creators to have their own financial control. Now they'll have the power to control their audience. So their audience are not built on a particular platform that they can actually just lose. They have the power to control their audience, right? So in coming months, you are going to be seeing a lot of things in the creator space. You see more people pushing out more products regarding them themselves. Like they are going to be pushing out more brands from creators and all of that. And yes, truthfully, let me just say this first. The creators economy, I know it's lucrative, and the way I'm sounding, it's like, wow, this is such an easy job to do, but it really is not. It comes with its own problems. Now, let's say some of the problems you would face as a creator in Nigeria. So let me just specifically, because I am in Nigeria, I know what I have faced as a creator in Nigeria. First up, as a content creator in Nigeria, especially if you're working with video content, we have to start thinking about the audio, you have to start thinking about the visuals. Then you have a huge problem if you are staying in a place that NEPA decides not to bring light, or you are staying in an area. You know, something about Nigeria is when you decide to create content, and that is when Nigeria happens. But we are not going to let it stop us. We are going to harness the power of the creators economy. We are going to harness the power of the digital economy, actually, because you cannot be talking about digital space without talking about the creators. The creators are what make the digital space. Make sure you comment if you have any questions. I would like to hear your questions. I would really like to hear your questions. So that would be all. I really want this to be a very short session. There's really not much to talk about when it comes to the creator economy. I just really want you to know that you are a creator. If you want to actually there's no better time to become a creator than now, because where we are heading towards, we are going to be getting more and more revenue from the creators economy. So there's no better space to start building your leads, because one thing, let me just say this, one thing about being a content creator is the fact that for you to actually make enough, or for you to make a lot of money on creator space, you have to be able to connect brands with their ideal audience, or you have to be able to connect your audience with information that is going to help them out. All right, so I'm sorry. Okay, so So that is it. You have to be able to do all of that as a creator. Now, I would try and see if there's any questions. Please do ask your questions. I want to hear your questions. Like I said, I feed on vibes. I like when things are interactive. So I'm trying to make sure that this is as interactive as possible. So please do ask me your questions. If you do have any questions, comment below, and I would try as much as possible to answer your questions. Yes. So like I was saying about the creators economy, I've really talked about all you have to know when it comes to being a content creator. I've talked about how you have to monetize the content creating space. And most times you feel like you are not a content creator. And like I said, you are actually a content creator. If you make TikTok videos, if you jump on, if you do Instagram Reels, if you do YouTube, if you have a podcast, you are a content creator. Now you have to find a way to harness and monetize this power that you have. So you have to find a way to harness. And I have already listed some of the ways you can monetize yourself. The best way right now is through YouTube. I am not going to lie. Everybody wants to jump on YouTube. Everybody wants to jump on YouTube because YouTube pays the highest amount of ad revenues apart from other things. So another way you can actually make money through the creators economy is through affiliate marketing. You can actually become an affiliate marketer for a particular brand. Now, one thing about this is sometimes we tend to confuse content creators with influencers. We tend to confuse content creators with influencers, which let me just see if I have enough time to tell you the difference between content creation and influencing. Now, when it comes to influencing, you have the power to influence. You have the power to influence or change, physically to influence the purchasing ability of someone else. So an influencer gets paid based on the number of followers they have, number of fans they have. And most influencers are actually content creators, but not all content creators are influencers. I want you to know that most influencers are content creators because, of course, if you're influencing for a particular brand, you have to create content for that brand, right? For you to actually be able to influence, you have to create content. So yes, we have most influencers are content creators, most content creators are not influencers. So if you are an influencer, you can actually be an influencer you do not even know because some of us are influencers now on way. They are micro influencers. There are something called micro influencers. So micro influencers can literally have an audience of just 100, but the power that they have over the purchasing ability of those persons is what matters, not the number of persons they actually have. That is something that is actually another topic for another day. So yes, I think I am done with today's session on the future and the creators economy. I would really want to say thank you to Deji for reaching out to me. It was an honor being here to speak with you guys. And yes, so I really want you to start thinking about how you can make money through content creation. If you're not a content creator already, try as much as possible to get into the space, get into the content creating space. We want to talk about Web3 and Web2 because content creation, the future of content creation is moving to what we call Web3, but there's not enough space. There's not enough time. Sorry about that. There's not enough time for me to start going into Web3 and Web2 and all of that. So we have to know. But if you want to reach out to me, you can still reach out to me on any of my social media handle at Khadijat. Let me say Instagram, I have at Khadijat, KHADEEJART. Yes, I think that's it. So you can reach out to me on any of my social media, and if you decide that you want to start harnessing the power of the creators economy, please do reach out to me and we'll talk and we'll know how you can do this, how you can do this. I want to see all of us win. I want to see all of us actually harness the potential, because like I said, creators economy is a lucrative industry that I want all of us to get into. Even as a business owner, look for something, look for a way to plug into it. If you're a web developer, try to create solutions to the problems that content creation is facing. That is one thing that Maystack is doing that I really, really like and I really, really appreciate. That is one thing that Stella is doing that I like. Yes, Greg at Khadijat. Yeah. On Instagram, you can reach me at Khadijat. Thank you for that. You can actually reach me. Thank you, Greg. I see your support. Thank you. All right, so that'll be all. I don't know if Deji is still around. And also, I want to say, Deji, I think Deji has a book launching tomorrow. Yes, the book is launching tomorrow, and it's a book on business owners, some questions, and all I have to say is you have to get the book. I read a bit of the book, and all I can say it is value packed. It is amazing. It is insightful. If you're a business owner, you have to find the book, so that you have to get the book when it's launched, because it's literally telling you how you can scale your business from 0 to 100 in less than 6 months without actually making mistakes. Okay, so yes, that'll be all for today. Thank you so much for joining, and bye. Hi, Deji. Hi. Hi, yeah. All right.
I was trying to go bring one of our major guests for today. I never knew that he was here already waiting for me. Okay, thank you, Khadijat. I am very, very grateful, happy to have you as a friend. It's been how many years coming, and you've been consistent with growth, and I am happy to see where you are now. See, if you don't know this girl, please, what will happen is this, please, okay, Miss Khadija, please just go on the comment section and drop your handle. That is your Instagram handle, your Facebook handle. You go and see crazy work there. This girl is in charge of a lot of accounts that I can't even start telling you the owners of those accounts, because that's what she does. She's a content creator, okay, and she just gave you that expose on exactly what you need to know about content creating. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Khadijat. The person I want to introduce upstage now is a father to me. Okay, is a father to me. I
Thank you.
respect him so much. Thank you, Khadijat. I respect him so much. I don't know how to start explaining. There are some people that when you want to start talking about them, you don't just know how you want to start talking about them. So let me say I'm lost to talk about who I want to bring up stage now, but he's a great man. Seriously, he's a great man. I sat under his lectures some time ago, and the way he was teaching, he opened my mind. Okay, the last time I heard from him was when I was in, I think, 300 level, right? Yes, he came for a reunion, and that day I think he took on investments or something of that nature. Yeah, I can still remember. Okay, he was then talking about what's the name of this again? Oh Jesus, I don't know why I've forgotten the name of this. It's a kind of an investment where you just keep your money. Okay, let me explain it. I believe when he hears it, when he comes up stage, He's going to explain what that means. Okay. Um, what would I call it? The investment where you get your return even before you put your money. Let's say you want to put $1 million into the let me say $1 million into the investment. If it is 20% return, instantly you get your 20% return when you drop your money, and then you get your money back at the end. I was like, whoa, this man is lit. He knows everything about basic information about how to earn money wherever he is. He's the CEO of Maxens or MCs and Maxens Consulting based in Lagos. I don't know how miraculously I could get him to talk to us today, but I would love you to be attentive as he speaks to us. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Daddy, I'm calling Daddy Samson. You're up, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your voice is just a little bit faint, but I can hear you, sir.
All right, let me see what I can do from this end.
Yes, I think better.
All right, is it better now? All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Adedeji, for inviting me to this program. I'm absolutely elated to be part of this program and to be part of the success you've been making in your pursuits, especially in your own field. Thank you so much. So, as far as what we're looking at this evening, um, the future and information, the future and information. And must say that the people who have spoken, they've actually said a lot of things. And I believe that um, we are going to learn more things from today, from what we have today also. So I'm trying to share my screen. I'm trying to share my screen. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay. I need to do something so that we can all see what I'm doing. Okay, can we see my screen now? All right, so we're looking at the future and information. The future and information. Now, a lot of people have different definitions as far as the future is concerned. And when we talk about information, also, a lot of people think information is just what you say to the next person, or whenever you open your mouth, you pass across information. But majorly, sometimes you discover that when you open your mouth to actually talk, what you're given is not information. You're just given like data. You're given data. You're just given patches of information, which the person at the other end actually needs to fuse those patches of information in order to make sense out of it. And without bugging out with much information, I'm going to give a certain definition of people who have actually given information or definition about the future and also about information. And I'm going to start with um, an author and also a speaker that spoke concerning the future in his book, which he titled, What is the Future? What is the future? And what did John talk about as far as information is concerned? John said the future is really a simple extrapolation from the present. What does it mean? It means the future that we are looking for, or the future that we're talking about, is actually a place from the future. It's actually, a place from where you are. The future is like a step from where you are The future is like a mile from where you are. The future is like a kilometer from where you are. So he was somebody in which I read some of his materials, and he has actually spoken a lot about the future. And the one thing he was able to make us understand is that the future is not actually far from us. From his definition, it's just an extrapolation. It means if you are able to extend, you're going to catch your own future. If you're able to extend, you're going to catch your own future. Now, let's see what other people equally said about the future. From what John Kennedy said in his address in 1963, John Kennedy said, one thing is certain: change is the law of life, and those who look to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. Now, what is he trying to say in essence? One thing we must also understand is that the future that you are looking at is changing. You may not have gotten to the future which you actually proposed for yourself or which you actually planned for yourself, but that future that you are looking at is changing. For example, some of us, when we're growing up, when buns, I don't know whether some people know what buns is. It's just one of those snacks that people eat. Buns or puff puff or meat pie. When you see it being eaten around you, you like, oh man, when I grow up, I'm going to buy 10 of this meat pie. When I grow up, I'm going to buy 20 of this meat pie. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to be happy. And the rest of them. Now, a day, 2 days after that day that you said such statement, a week, a year, 2 years after that time, 3 years after that time, you're going to discover that your perception about the meat pie or about the buns, about the puff puff that you made mention of would have changed. So that is what John Kennedy is making us to understand, that one thing is certain, that even the future that you're looking at, those things, they change. So if you are somebody that look tenaciously at what you're seeing at present, you're going to miss it. If you look tenaciously at what you're seeing at present, you're going to miss it. Therefore, the future that you look at must be a future that is changing, must be a future that is evolving. So I'm telling everyone that is listening to me, if you're listening to me, perhaps on your bed, or perhaps at your workstation, or perhaps you're at work and you're listening to me at this moment, I want you to understand that the future that you have for yourself, the perception of the future that you have for yourself is not a static one. It's not a static one. It is one that is changing day in, day out. It is one that is evolving day in, day out. So you must come to that realization that the future I'm looking at for myself is a future that is changing, is a future that is evolving. So you must not be static. A child that says that when I grow up, I'm going to buy 10 meat pie for myself, I'm going to enjoy because I'm being denied of meat pie at this time. By the time wow, by the time I'm coming, I need to get something clear. Um, okay, Okay. All right. So, okay. Um, all right. So, all right. All right. So, we're together. We're together. We are together. So, one thing I was talking about, one thing I was talking about, one thing I was talking about is that according to John Kennedy, your future that you are looking at must be a future that is evolving. And that is where information comes in. That is where information comes in. A child that is being denied of probably meat pie at this moment and believes in himself that, okay, in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, I'm going to buy 20 of this meat pie. I'm going to buy 20 pieces of this meat pie. I'm going to buy 10 pieces of this meat pie. You know, that is the future that the child sees. But by virtue of information, by virtue of enlightenment, by virtue of illumination, the child will come to realization that the future that he's looking at is not a future of meat pie. It is not a future of donuts. It is not a future of snacks. It's a future that has more value than meat pie, than donuts, and all that. And then we need to understand what information is. Then I come to this understanding according to Tech Target Network. Tech Target Networks makes us to understand that information is stimulus. Information can be described as stimulus. Information can be described as stimulus. Now, a lot of us did biology in our secondary school or probably in your middle school. Okay, you did biology or you did a part of science. And what does stimulus means? Stimulus means response to an external influence. Stimulus means the ability to respond to an external influence. And one thing is that stimulus is one of the characteristics of a living thing. The ability to respond to stimuli is one of the characteristics of living thing. So, if you are listening to me and you are someone that don't respond to information, you are someone that takes information as, oh, let it slide. Oh, let it slide. It means you're not living. So, someone who does not respond to information, your response to information will either be positive or negative. Your response to information will either be positive or negative. So if you're someone that you allow every information to slide, it means you're not living, because one of the features of a living thing or a living being is stimulus. You must be able to respond to stimulus. And if you're not responding, it means you're not living. So, information and the future, how does it play out? So, at this point, we need to integrate the two of them. How do they work? The future you're looking at must be a future that is driven by information. The future you're looking at, let me say it again, must be a future that is driven by information. As John Kennedy made us to understand in his own definition of the future, that the future that you see must be the future that is changing. And your future will be changing or evolving as a result of what you listen to, as a result of what you hear. So, what you hear determines the kind of future you are looking at. So, I encourage everyone that is listening to me at this point to see a future that is evolving. Now, I would have played some videos, but due to some stuff, I may not be able to play it, but I'm going to give us an extract from the video. Now, before now, how many people knew that So many things that happened during COVID-19 would have happened. But some people saw it. Some people saw it and they were waiting tenaciously. They were waiting for it, that this thing is going to happen. How many people knew that a time will come when you will be able to drive a car and also be able to use that car as a canoe on the sea, or probably on the ocean, on an ocean? So years before now, how many people knew that a time will come when I will be able to communicate with everyone live as we're doing now? You know, these were things that some people saw. They saw a future. They saw a future and they had information that makes the future they were seeing to evolve. Even if I tell so many people that saw this future that we are living today, the future which we are living today, a lot of people saw it. The information they had was making it to evolve. Now, today, the future that we are looking at, many of us may not see it. Some people are going to live that future. So the question is, you as an individual, what kind of future do you see for yourself? So you must be able to see a future. The Facebook that we use to communicate today, somebody saw it years ago. And today we can use the Facebook. The WhatsApp that we do that we use today, somebody saw it years ago. That, oh, I should be able to communicate with people through text messaging. I should be able to send pictures. I should be able to send voice note and the rest of them. I should be able to do video call. I should be able to do voice call and the rest of them. So a lot of people saw it. But how many persons came to the actualization of this vision? And that's what we're talking about. So if you're listening to me at this point, you must understand that the future you are looking at must be a future that is driven by information. What is that is driving you in that in that future that you're looking at? So if nothing is driving you, then you don't have a valid future. If nothing is driving you, you don't have a valid future. So the future that we're looking at is a future that is driven by information. And when you say information, you're talking about life. Information is life. Information should be something that will push you to do another thing. Information now is a force. Information is a force. It is information that some people got that puts them to where they are today. How many people knew about data analysis before now? Data analysis. How many people knew about business analysis before now? How many people knew about product management before now? How many people knew about graphic design before now? Even photography, as simple as it may be. How many people thought that photography will be what it is today? We have millionaires now who are just photographers. We have millionaires who are photographers. So these people saw a future that, yes, I want to be a photographer. Now they have an information, they have piece of information that drove them to the realization of a photography which will be the talk of the town. Are you a business person? I don't know the kind of business you're into. Are you a salesperson? You must be able to channel, you must be able to drive your sales with information. And when I say drive your sales with information, I mean you must be able to come up with certain things that's going to spice up your sales agenda. You must be able to come up with concepts that's going to spice up your photography agenda. If you're an HR person, what are you doing to see a future in that your HR business? Being an HR has moved from what it used to be to what it is now. There are a lot of programs that you need to do as an HR person that will put you in the limelight, that will put you on top of the world. So are you having that information? And the funniest thing is that this information are flying around. Are you responding to that information? And that's what we're talking about. So in this age, you must be able to respond to information, especially information that happens to be within your own domain. If you're a photographer, you must scout for information in terms of photography. If an HR person, a human resource person, you must be able to scout for information related to human resource. If you're a teacher, you must be able to seek information that can better your teaching and learning. If you're a medical doctor, you must be able to seek information that will equally improve your medicine. So we've seen medicine, we've seen medical doctors who are now health tech. They're into health technology. They're into health media and the rest of them. So that is a sort of information. The person look at it that I don't just want to be a medical doctor in the hospital, only discussing with patients and the rest of them, heart patient, inpatient. I want to be a doctor that transcends the globe. And that is what we're going to. That is what this platform is talking about. That what do you do with the information that you see on daily basis? I must make you understand, when I need information, I go on Instagram. Information about my field, I go on Instagram. I'm into environment, I'm into data analysis, I'm into educational leadership. So when I need information sometime, I go on Instagram, and it is amazing the volume of information I see, the volume of programs that I see that I need to tap into. And through this program, I get informed. Through this program, I get to understand that being a teacher or being an educational leader is not just standing by the board, it goes beyond that. Being an environmental expert is not just tidying the street, cleaning the street, it goes beyond that. I get to understand that being a data analyst is not just gathering information, going on the road and collecting data, questionnaire, and the rest of them. I've got to understand that information collection has improved. And all these things can only be achieved when you plug yourself to sources of information, when you respond to information. Now, I need us to understand something, the purpose of this gathering that we're having today. And I want everyone to understand that the future that was described by people in the past is not a place, but a collaboration, a synergy, a realization of a common goal for one and all. Now, what does that mean? Whatever you are doing, whatever you want to do, if it doesn't affect you and affect the people around you, then that is not a future. Then you need to go back and reorientate yourself and plug yourself into more information. If you have a future and that future is not that which affects positively you and the people around you, then such future is not the future we're talking about here. The future we're talking about here is a future of collaboration, it's a future of synergy, it's a future of realization. You must understand that as a person that is into, for example, you're into public speaking, you cannot be a public speaker on your own. It must be a collaboration. That is, it must be in association with some other speakers. You cannot stand alone. You must be able to synergize in order for you to realize that future that you are looking at. And to realize that future, you must have information. We are in the information age. As I said before, so many jobs that we have today, they were not present before. So many jobs that we have today, they were not present before. And the kind of future you must be looking at must be a future that is not looking at the present alone. It must be a future that transcends now. It must be a future that goes beyond now. And that's what we're talking about. So the future we're talking about is a future driven by information. So how do you get this information? You must plug yourself into training. You must plug yourself into training. The future you're looking at is not a future of rice and beans. It's not a future of bread and tea. It's a future of hard work. And for you to achieve that future, you need to plug yourself into training. You must seek information. And that is where the future lies. The future lies in information seeking. What future do you seek? You know, sometime somebody was telling me that when you have a degree and your degree is 10 years old and you don't have any other degree in between, that degree is invalid. So I put it to you, if you're listening to me, if you're the one that got your first degree in 1985, and from 1985, you've not had another program, you've not done another program, I tell you categorically without hesitation, that your degree is invalid. So if you got a degree in 2000, we are in 2022, and between 2000 and now, you've not got another degree. That your degree that you got in 2000 is invalid, because the future that we are looking at is a future driven by information. It's not a future of this is what I learned in 2000 and that's what you want to apply now. No, you're going to fail. You're not going to succeed. So the future that we're looking at is a future that involves. Is a future that involves. Is a future that is changing. It must be evolving. It must be evolving. You know, some time ago, some of us, we had a vision of the kind of car that we wanted to use, you know. Then we used to say, oh, when I see V-boots, V-boots. Now, if you put a V-boot on the road, a lot of people will be looking at you and be smiling. Who is this one? Because new things have come on board. By virtue of information, the person that designed V-boot at that time has been informed better. And the person has been able to redesign the V-boot in other fashions. So, whatever you're doing, I put it to you. Whatever you're doing, if you're going to make impact in the future that we're talking about this evening, if you're going to be in the limelight, if you're going to be on the globe, if you're going to be the person that the world is actually seeking, you know, you must be someone that is driven by information. So I put it to you, go get yourself trained. Go get yourself trained. No training is small. Go get yourself trained. There are a lot of programs that are free online these days. You know, there are a lot of programs that are free online these days. Get yourself trained. Pay money, pay good money to get informed. Pay good money to get trained. The future that you're looking at does not come cheap. If you're going to make good money, let me put it to you straight. If you're going to make good money in the future that you're looking at, you know, maybe you're trying to put together a business at this time. You're trying to put together, you have a startup business, you're trying to put it together. So the kind of money you want to make in that your business, the kind of future you're looking at on that your business is not a future that is going to be the conventional future. It's going to be a spectacular future. And for you to have a spectacular future, you must be informed. You must be trained. Your degree of 1985 cannot save you at this time. You must get yourself trained. You must get yourself involved. Your hands must be on deck at all times. Now, I need us to make some comparison, in terms of what happens now and what happened before. You know, I'm trying to do some comparison. The future and information is like comparing the 20th century and the 21st century. So you need to process and utilize effectively any piece of information you receive to your ultimate advantage now. Now, any information you get, you must use it to your ultimate advantage. Now, I try to compare 20th century and 21st century, which we're in. Now, the difference is that the 20th century, which we had, was a deterministic environment. When I say deterministic environment, I mean an environment where you plug in something and you know what you're going to get at the end of the day. It's a deterministic environment, an environment where 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, okay? 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. That's a deterministic environment. Now, the kind of environment we're looking at today in the 21st century is what we call the stochastic environment. Now, people who did statistics or data science will understand the difference between deterministic environment and stochastic environment, or you say deterministic data and stochastic data. Now, deterministic data means that you have an idea of what is going to happen. Stochastic means that there is probability on what is going to happen. What it means is that today, 1 plus 1 is not 2. 1 plus 1 is more than 2. It can give you 11 if you're not careful. It can give you 100 if you're not careful. It can give you 200. That's what we're talking about. So, difference between 20th century and 21st century is that 20th century is deterministic, 21st century is stochastic. Okay? And another thing is that in the 20th century, we had problem and we have solution. So every problem had a solution, When your road is bad, you fix it, you resurface it and the rest of them and all that. But nowadays, when you have a problem, you give it a solution. That solution generates another problem. And that's what we have today. That is what is going on today. So if you are a photographer, for instance, the only thing you want to do is to snap people, print out picture, and that's all. My friend, you have not started. Because those pictures that we're talking about, a lot of people have said that those pictures are problems. They don't want to see the pictures. And that's why when you go to snap pictures, you see the person will tell you, is it soft copy you want? Is it hard copy you want? Before now, how many people requested for soft copy when you go to snap pictures? How many people? You just collect the hard copy and you go away. The photographer will keep the soft copy, which they used to call the negative at that time, They'll keep the negative. After some time, the photographer will throw away the negative, So this is what we have in the 21st century. A 21st century is a century where you have a problem, you give it a solution, the solution gives you another problem. And that's what we're having. And that is where information lies. Now, if a business person and you solve a problem and the solution generates another problem, it means you have more work to do, more business for you, more money for you. Let me put it that way, more money. Because when you give a solution, your client is happy that the problem has been solved. Now, the funniest thing is that that solution that you have provided is going to provide another business angle for you again. We for instance, we have a computer system. You have software on the computer system. You use the software to do a lot of things and the rest of them. It is in this software we have viruses. Those that gave you the computer, those that give you the software, they also added virus for you. So that tomorrow you come and say, oh, I have virus on my system. How do I fix it? So the century we have, and that's where information comes in. The century we have is not a century that is problem solution. is a century of problem solution problems, a century of problem solution new problems. And we must always be on ground. And that is why you must always get informed. You must continue to train yourself. And again, another thing I want us to understand again is that in the 20th century, it was being controlled by government and corporations. Before, little people actually play in terms of trying to control what happened in the world. It was basically the government that controls everything and certain corporations and all that. But the world that we have today is the world that is controlled by everyone. You and I are the one that control the world. We are the one that control the world now. You go on Instagram, you post a picture. Another person goes on Instagram, he or she posts a picture. You are controlling the Instagram. You are the one controlling it. The person that designed or that has that platform has gone. The person is just looking. So we are the one controlling the Instagram. We are the one controlling Facebook. We are the one controlling Twitter. And that is where the future is going. The business you are doing is a business that is controlled by everyone. And that is where customer service is. When you get feedback from your customer or from your client, how do you manage it? And that's what we're talking about. So the future that you have is a future of information. How much do you subject yourself to information? That is a question you need to ask yourself from this moment. How much do you subject yourself to information? Now, I want us to see some big picture. And what is the big picture that we're looking at? The big image we're looking at should be scenario planning. So the future you're looking at is a future driven by information. And for you to achieve that future, it must be a future that is planned. What do you use to plan the future? You must plan your future. If you are a startup, you have a new business you want to push, you must plan it. You don't just move and go. Because if you jump into it, you're going to jump out. I have a business, and the business is Maxis Consulting. As I told you, I put it to you, Maxis Consulting is a business that started days back in the university. I started this concept. This concept started when I was in the university in my first degree. It has been evolving. There have been a lot of metamorphoses. There's been a lot of shift, a lot of movement, and the rest of them. There's been a lot of shaking and cutting down and the rest of them. So you must understand that when you start your business, the amount of information you get makes you to understand how the business will be moving from one phase to another. And you must be strategic. You must have strategic anticipation. When you start a business today, you can't make your millions today, except you jump on a jackpot. Maybe you have a contract from government or contract from a big organization and the rest of them. So you must be strategic in your anticipation. What is your expectation on your business? You must have that information. Everything you do must be information driven. And you must be innovative and creative about your future. Your future is not a static future. Your future is not a static future. Your future is a future that is evolving. So there must be innovation. There must be creativity. You must have creativity. You must have innovative ideas that you bring in on it and the rest of them. Take, for example, the likes of the MTN, the likes of Airtel and the rest of them. Every time in terms of their data sales, in terms of their airtime sales, they come up with creativity and the rest of them, and this has sustained them over the years. You must have a business model and culture. A lot of persons, they just set up business just for making money. I want to make money. That is the reason for setting up this business. You don't have a business model. What is your business model? What model are you running? What is your culture? What value do you want to give? Some people don't have it. And as a result, they are just looking at the money. How many people came today? How much did you sell? They're not looking at the value concept. They're not looking at the business concept. And also they're not cognizant of their own behavior. So your own behavior also matters in your business. So these are the things we must put into consideration. Your future is a future that is very good. And if that future is not driven by consciousness, by information, is not driven by being deliberate, then it means you're not living, because we have established that information is stimulus. When you don't respond to information, when you don't go out for training, when you don't go out to be trained, when you don't go out to get information, it means your future is going to be bleak. And I hope that we'll not have a bleak future. So things may not be in shape. Things may not be in shape, but the point is you must keep moving. Your business model, your strategic anticipation are the things that will keep you moving. And I hope that we are getting something as I'm drawing to a close. And I believe that we understand one or two things as I've said concerning the future and information. The future is now. The future is now, according to the Sustainable Development Goals of 2019. There was a conference of SDG in 2019. One of the concepts in that conference was that the future is now. So your future is not tomorrow anymore. The future is not the future anymore, like the future. The future is now. Whatever you cannot do now, it means you cannot achieve. So you must be on a hot seat for yourself. You must be on a hot seat for yourself, as in for your sake. You must be on a hot seat. Because the future that you think you're looking at is no more future, like the future that you're looking at. The future is now. And one thing that will sustain you in that future is your innovation, your creativity. Innovation is ultimate. A lot of businesses, a lot of people that had ideas before COVID-19. When COVID-19 came, their ideas were rubbed off because they did not have innovating spirit. So innovation is ultimate. In the midst of storm, in the midst of turbulence, in the midst of crisis, your innovation will sustain you. And I hope that you've been able to get something this night. And I hope also that after now, you're going to plug yourself into training. You're going to fire yourself up. That my business, my concept, I want to be informed about my business. It's funny that some people don't know about their business. It's very funny. When you ask some people about their business, they don't know about it. They begin to tell you, just trying to scout for things to tell you and the rest of them. So you're doing something you don't know about. And that is where we're going. If you are looking for a future that is not information driven, then you are not going to have it. Thank you.
Wow. 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 That was lit. That was heavy. When it was, sir, I'm very, very grateful for that insight. It's when you were talking, it was as though you were dipping into. I was like, is it it's like Daddy read the manuscript of my book. Like when you're talking, especially when you started talking about the 21st century solution can never solve the problem and stay put. As a business owner, every solution leads to other problems. If the solution are given does not lead to any other, I was like, no. I was no. Majority of what is stipulated today are strongly, as in, it's more than what my head can carry this night, though. So, thank you very much, sir. I'm very, very grateful. I would love us to share our appreciation to the speaker. For those still online on the comment section. Um, actually, I planned taking the book launch today, but not strong enough.
Okay.
The weather is not favorable for me, so we'll still be launching the book today. But I will not be speaking too much on the book because of time and also because of my body. Actually, I'm not that strong. So
Okay.
tomorrow, I've promised that tomorrow by 1 o'clock, I'll be having a live section again, talking
Okay.
majorly on the book that is coming up, that is live and only out on pre-order now. It's massive, sir. This book is massive. How it's planned out for the book itself is called the Business Workbook for Startups. Because
Okay.
I've seen that I've done a lot of businesses actually. I've gone from one business to the other, and I know exactly what the struggle of of an ordinary Nigerian is. Okay. Sometimes we feel as though it is a capital that is the initial struggle, but that's not the initial struggle. Yes, it is a struggle too for capital, but that is not even the initial struggle. Okay, I came to discover that. Okay, because of this vision that I've got, I have said that no matter how, I must find a way of giving back to the business community, no matter how small it is. I started Pulse Insured. What Pulse Insured is about is a community where business owners can get financial assistance without collateral or interest. I started that for a while now, and I think for like 2 months now, we have sustainably helped up to 6 business owners, at least for the capacity that the capital that we've got can carry, because there's no interest. We are not yielding profit, or not there to yield profit. Okay, so that's the first thing. So after I've studied out all businesses, I came out with a trilogue. The book is coming out as a trilogue actually, but first it will be coming out as just the single one, which is the volume 1, which is the book for startup. Okay, all the answers to all questions. Okay, I'll be sending out the I think for those that are on YouTube now, they'll see the picture. I don't know. I'm feeling strange already. Very sorry about that. Okay, but after that book, the next one I'll be coming will be basically on effective branding, because that is also what I call it, is a lacking factor I've seen also in startups. How to effectively brand their system even as a startup. Then the third of the trilogue will be on the psychology of the 21st century business. That's the 3 books that is coming up. But the first one is out already. Okay, the first one is out already, sir, and we are putting it out on pre-order from now, and the book will be fully out by July 7, but majorly on pre-order from now to July 7. And this book actually contains a lot, seriously, contains a lot, bulk of experiences from all around, my experiences, and everything all put together will make that book massive, is making that book massive. And that is why this my zeal for startups, actually. This my zeal, because I knew how it was when I was starting businesses. I knew the danger I was. I know how deep I was. I know how depressing business can take you into if you're not strong enough. I know the mistakes I've made. I know how I grew up beyond that mistake. And here I am now building a brand for myself. So that is why this is being called for. And I'm very, very grateful, sir, for the opportunity that you have given to us to listen to you today. As in, I had to stay put to my screen, listening to everything as you have said it. And, sir, it has been a wonderful section with you, sir. I am
All right.
very, very grateful, sir. It has been a wonderful section with you, sir. I'm very,
Yeah.
very grateful, sir. Please, everyone, if you have any question to ask concerning this, just go down to the comment section and drop your question. I believe that those are not here now; they are still coming back to see this, to see the playback of this event, because yesterday that's how network was just shifting people off and on, but they all came back to listen to the event fully again. Thank you very much, sir. So again, tomorrow we'll be coming for the book launch. I'll be talking about each of the people that came up today. Tomorrow, before we go fully into the book launch, tomorrow by 1 p.m., sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
See you later.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. See you later, sir.
All right.
So everybody, thank you. God bless you. Make sure you take your business to the next level. Make sure you take your business to the next level. As I've said already, I'm a business consultant. I am open to you making your business get to that peak where it ought to get to. Is what we're here for. Is what we're here for. Make sure you come to my section and let's talk and see how we can get you. And if you need that book, please get back to my bio. You can comment on that you need the book. We'll get it straight to you. Okay, the book is covered. And please, actually, so don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is very, very important. Don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow by 1 p.m. I will be live again, just myself, talking about this book. God bless you, and we'll see you at the top.